Worthy. Deserving effort, attention, or respect. Good enough. Suitable.
It was June 2011 when I first moved into shelter.
I've had some people in my life that have been directly impacted by domestic violence and sexual assault.
This school year in particular, we had a few students that we knew were not in the most healthy dating relationships inside and outside of school.
I needed a place to catch my breath. I needed a place that could house me and my kids, that could give me that time out that I needed so that then I could go and do the work that needed to be done on myself. The children had been abused by my now ex-husband. There was a lot of abuse in our home, and there was a lot that was verbal and physical. He was going to follow the ambulance. So I explained to the ambulance folks that I had been in an abusive marriage, that I had been separated since June of the following year, so we're like 7-8 months out. I explained to the nurses before they let him in the room, you can let him in, don't run him off, but he's abusive, I've been separated for 8 months, don't leave me alone with him. I reminded them one last time before the medication was administered, but unfortunately, after I was out, they did leave me alone. And so a few days after the hospital stay, I was having some flashbacks that didn't make sense. At first, they were a little dismissive. You were on medication, and I said, I get that, I truly do. But I said, this is weird flashbacks, and I need you to check the video, because I do remember being in a room that did have video. And so a couple of hours after notifying the hospital, a woman executive called me and said that the police were on their way and that I had been assaulted and I needed to come in to meet with the police. The day that I saw the sexual assault on video, I made it back out to a vehicle and I sat there by myself, and I truly did not want to kill myself, but I truly did not want to go on living. I was exhausted. I had just been dealt a terrible vision that I would never be able to unsee, and I just truly had asked the Lord, if you could just take me. I'm served no use down here. I failed my kids, I failed my parents, and I just didn't really want to deal with the hurt. And the Lord and I had a little chat about that in the car.
I want them to know they're not alone, that there's help, that this is not something they need to be embarrassed about or ashamed about, and that so many people are going through this type of thing, and that they shouldn't be ashamed to ask for help.
When Susan first came in, so Susan came in with a couple other people from Lafayette House just for a one-time presentation to our students. That's what we thought it was gonna be. And Susan came and just presented on healthy relationships to our kids. What does a healthy dating relationship look like? But also our kids got to hear about what a healthy parent and child relationship looks like, because sometimes they don't have the healthiest boundaries in that either. So Susan got to come in and present, and just the way Susan and her team was able to make our kids feel comfortable and at ease with her so quickly, They were able to ask questions that they wouldn't have necessarily come and talked to us about. When school ended that day, that student left, and within 30 minutes of that school day ending, that student came running back to our school without shoes on, without her glasses, all disheveled, and had just encountered a very negative interaction with her boyfriend at their house, and was just needing help. And she had not come to us for help before. We knew she needed it, we'd talked to her before, but she had not come and asked for help. It really broke down some of those boundaries that she had with being ashamed about it and not wanting to speak about it. But she felt that, hey, I can be empowered, I can talk about this. And she came to us after school, and we were able to get her help that day, which was very good.
That has some huge promise in the future that people need to be aware of, that they may not be, that their teens are susceptible to dating violence and things that they need to be paying attention to. We've got a program that can help them kind of walk through and see what their teens might be going through and experiencing.
Katie Cook came in and did 5 different days of lessons for our kids on prevention education. So we talked about healthy boundaries between relationships, healthy boundaries between friendships, dating relationships. We talked about consent, a lot of great topics that our students might not have heard about in some of their other classes at the high school.
I think that it is just incredibly important that people who are in crisis have a place to go. And that's what I would say, that if you know somebody that's in crisis, definitely reach out.
Shelters let us know that there's hope. Shelters teach us that we're worthy. And shelters assist us in connecting us to resources in the community so that as we're making that journey from victim to survivor, we get the assistance that we need.
I would love for there not to be a need, but I'm not naive to the fact that there will probably always be a need. And as long as there's a need, I hope that this place is always here and always able to serve the need of this community.
They don't have to do anything to be worthy. They don't have to do anything to be respected. They should be respected just because of who they are. It doesn't matter what their boyfriend or girlfriend might tell them, what a parent might say to them about themselves. They define who they are themselves.
A place like this that will surround them, that will put good people out there to help them, and they are worth so much more than what they've been told all their lives.
I'm worth that. And so I think one of the biggest things I took away from my journey is I'm worth that. My kids are worth that. And oftentimes we feel like we're not. We feel like we deserve that. And that's not it at all. Your new life is out there waiting. You just have to take that first step and start believing that you're worth it. My order of protection was expiring, and so last week I went in front of a Webster County judge and I got to tell my story, and at the end he granted me a lifetime order, which means that 78th time in court should be the last time I ever have to walk into a courtroom, unless of course my abuser decides to violate that, in which case I will stand up, I will file reports, I will testify, and I will hold him accountable again. But for now, my journey is complete.
Worthy. Deserving effort, attention, or respect. You are good enough. You are worthy.